Right, so to make this card, you're going to need a card blank that is 6x4. And so then you need a piece of coloured card. Now I'm using single-sided coloured card, not double-sided, because I like the effect that it has. You can use double-sided coloured card if you want. Your card needs to be 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so that you've got an edge. And what you want to do is you want to take your piece of card and take your scorer. So you want to score it halfway at 1 7/8 all the way down top to bottom. Then what you're going to do, you're going to fold it in half and you're going to take your template. Right, so to make the braided card you need a template like this one. You can download them off the internet and print them off, but obviously if you haven't got a printer or the ability to do that, then it makes it a bit tricky. So I'm going to show you how you make your own. So you need a piece of copier paper, just normal printer paper, just normal paper, and you want to cut it down so that it's 2 inches wide by 6 inches tall, and this is for any card that is 6 inch tall, so a 6x6 card or 4x6 or whatever. And then you are going to make a mark halfway at 1 inch and at the bottom and draw a line, so you've got a 1 inch line, a halfway line going down the middle. Then you're going to take your ruler and along that line you're going to measure 1/2 inch from the top and make a little mark, and you're going to measure 1/4 inch from the bottom and make a little mark. And then what you're going to do in between those 2 points, you're going to mark every 1/4 inch. So you're literally going to make a mark at every 1/4 inch going all the way along until you reach the dot at the bottom. So we're going to do that now. I don't know if you can see that. Well, I've got little 1/4 inch marks going all the way, so from this top mark all the way down to the bottom mark, right here, bottom mark. Okay, so once you've done that, you then need to get yourself a right angle triangle, anything that's a 90-degree angle. So what you want to do, because it's got a right angle here, so what you want to do is you then want to so this is your right angle edge, so from this corner up this way you want to measure and mark at 1/2 inch and at 3/4 inch. Okay, so I've marked at 1/2 inch and at 3/4 inch from this right angle going up. So there's my 1/2 inch mark, there's my 3/4 inch mark, and then you want to do the same on this side here. So again, there's my 1/2 inch mark, there's my 3/4 inch mark. Okay, so once you've done that, because on your template you'll notice you've got long ones and short ones, and so that's why you need those 2 marks. So when you're drawing your marks out, you know what you're doing. So then what you need to do is, I would start, to be honest, because this is a triangle, I've got a nice flat edge, so I can line that up with the top there. So I'm going to start at the top, and if I use my grid on my mat, which I'm hoping you can see, you might not be able to see it, I'm going to use the grid on my mat and I'm going to line up my piece of paper so it's nice and straight. I'm going to tape it into position as well, just so it doesn't move randomly, which it may well want to move. So I'm just going to washi tape it into position like that, so that's not going to go anywhere now. I know it's nice and straight. So starting with your, at the top you've got 1/2 inch, ignore that mark there because that shouldn't be there. This is my 1/2 inch mark. So starting at your 1/2 inch mark, put your little template onto the 1/2 inch mark so that the point reaches the halfway line. Make sure it's nice and straight along the top, and then you're going to draw from that middle way line to the short line, the short mark on your template. Okay, so here's my first line, here's my second mark. Okay, I'm going to make this a bit bigger so you can see. So there's my first mark, there's my second mark, there's my first mark, there's my second mark. Can you see those? So I'm drawing from this middle line to the first mark only, and from the middle line to the first mark there only. Then you bring it down to the next mark, make sure it's straight at the top, so make sure it's straight here with your grid, and this time you're going to draw from that middle to the longest line, from the middle to the longest line. Okay, so I'm drawing to that line there. Then you drop it down to the next mark, make sure it's straight, and you're going to draw to the first mark, the short mark. So there we go, we're going to draw to the first mark, then I'm going to drop it down again to the next mark on there, and I'm going to draw to the long mark. And you keep doing that all the way down, long mark, short mark, all the way down the line. So we carry on down the line. So the next one is a short. Always make sure that it's level at the top before you start, and always remember what you've just done. So I've just done a long line, so now I'm doing a short line. Short line, drop it down to the next mark, and I'm doing a long line. Oops. Drop it down to the next one, and I'm doing a short line. So you need to concentrate when you do this. Drop it down again, and you're doing a long line. So if you get it wrong, you're going to have a template that's wrong. Drop it down to the next line, and you want a short line. Drop it down to the next one, and it's a long line. And you just keep going. Long line. Like that. Drop it down again, you want a short line. And then we drop it down again, we've got a long line. You have to make sure it's straight each time. If it's not straight each time, then you're going to end up with a wonky template. Need a short one next, and you should finish off with a long one. If you don't finish off with a long one, then you've done something wrong, because you need to finish off with a long one. So there you go. So there's your template. So you've just drawn yourself out a braiding template. Then you just need to take your, obviously you take your washi tape off carefully. I have used these templates time and time again. The only problem is once you've cut them, they do become a bit more flimsy because they're made of paper. So you might do well if you have access, or you can get access to a photocopier, to photocopy these. Photocopy a whole load of them so that you've got some in the cupboard ready. So I'm going to go through that again. But anyway, there's your template. And then you're then ready to make your braided card. So it wasn't too bad. It's a bit of work to do, but at least, you know, if you haven't got access to a printer, at least you can do your own. These are the templates, and you can find these online, but you want to get one that fits your 6x4 inch card. So you want to take your template and score it down the middle halfway, and then you want to put it on the edge of your card. And with this one, particularly what I've got, you want to make sure that your little lines that you've got here, these lines, don't drop off the bottom of your page. So if you've got, like I have, you've got a big gap at the top and you've got these quite close, that's the one that needs to be flush with the top, and this one needs to be not flush with the top. Okay, you can trim it down if you want to. And then all I would do is take a paper clip of some description. Excuse me a second while I just rescue this paper clip. Clip it into place at one end, like that. And then you're going to start cutting up your lines So you're going to cut up the long line, then the short, then the long, then the short, then the long, then the short, all the way along. Double check your template, because this template, I've actually got a section here where I've got 3 long ones in a row. So I've just made sure that when I've cut them, I've done long, short, long, and then this one that is long is actually going to be a short one. I've just cut it so it's slightly short, and then a long, and then short, long, all the way along. Okay, so you want to do that. Once you've done that, you can take your template off and you will be left with this. Okay, all these V arrows. Now you want to just take the very bottom one, so you can see I've already cut mine out, just so that was in there, like that. You just want to cut, you want all your V's to face upwards, and you want to take the very bottom one and just snip that last little bit at the bottom there. Okay, and keep that piece, because you're going to need that piece in a minute. So I'm just going to put that up there so I know where it is. Okay, so don't lose that piece, whatever you do. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go up, starting from the bottom, working your way up. So you've got a V, and then you've got another piece here. You're going to ignore that piece. You're going to go for the next one up, and you're just going to fold it down like that. You see? So you can see how I've done one. I've cut that bit off. Then the next one I'm going to miss. The next one I'm going to fold down like that. And as soon as you fold it down, you're going to tuck it under the one below. Like that. Okay? So then you're going to miss one, and you're going to do the next one. So this one. And fold that down. So can you see? So that's what I've just done here. This one here is what I've just done. So I'm going to miss a piece, and then the next piece I'm going to fold down, and again I'm going to tuck it under. So I'm just going to tuck it under this one here. Like that. So I'm going to keep doing that all the way along. So you miss one. So the next one, the next bit I'm going to miss. I'm going to fold the next piece, and I'm going to tuck it under like that. Then I'm going to miss a piece. I'm going to fold the next piece and tuck it under. So you just keep doing that all the way up. Miss a piece, fold a piece, and tuck it under. And then on the last one now, so you miss the next one, fold the last one, and tuck it under. And then this piece here, what we're going to do is we're going to tuck it under that top, that very top piece there. The little, this arrow piece here. We're going to put that in there, and we're just going to stick that down. Okay, just going to stick that into position. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. You can use wet glue. I'm just going to use a little bit of red tape, because I could use white tape, but I haven't got anything thin enough. And also I want it to make sure it's definitely not going to go anywhere, because it's only attached on those 2 edges. So I really don't want it going anywhere. So wet glue is a bit easier, because you've got time to fiddle around, but it's also a bit more tricky because it's just a narrow piece. So I'll stick that there, and I'm going to stick that on there. I've just swizzled it round. I've just turned it round so the colour's facing upright, so I can see which bit I need to put my tape on. That's the only reason I've done that. So now let's peel this backing off. Peel that backing off, and then I'm going to turn it back round again. Ooh. Tuck it under and stick it into position. There we go, like that. Now if you wanted to, you could do this on the side of your card blank. So all you'd need to do is take your template, attach it to the side of your card blank, pin it on, and then just cut up those lines, and then do the same thing. You know, just take it off, up, open it up, down, and you can have it on the side, on the actual edge. But I was going to do this on as a panel on the front of my card because I think that's quite pretty. And then we can just put a greeting or something, you know, halfway maybe. It's quite nice. Or at the bottom, or wherever you want to put the greeting, really. I've seen it on other channels, on other videos, where they've used this almost like a trellis. So this is double-sided card, and then they've put little bits of foliage sticking out of it, and I think that looks really, really nice. So that might be an idea. But I'm just going to go ahead now and stick this down onto my card base, and then I'm going to put my happy birthday on. The other thing as well you could do if you wanted to is to use a piece of card behind that is a different colour. So for example this, so then you've got a third colour on your, which is quite nice as well. That's quite a good idea. So yes, I might well do that. But that's how you do the braiding anyway. And then obviously how you decorate it is completely up to you. But as you can see, it's quite simple. It looks really complicated, but it's actually not at all. So there you go. So I'm going to go ahead now and have a bit of a think as to what I'm going to do with this. But that is how you do the technique.